All right, today we're going to dive into a philosophy that might just, well, it could change the way you see everything. It's a journey inspired by a wise sage, a surprisingly powerful insect, and the very paths we all walk in life. So, let's get into it.
We're going to start with this simple blessing because it really sets the perfect tone. It's a wish for peace, and that peace is pretty much the ultimate destination on the journey we're about to take together. And, that wish for peace brings up a really big question. I mean, we all live on the same planet, right? But do we actually see the same world? The answer, as we're about to find out, is a definite no. Okay, so our journey really kicks off by understanding this one foundational idea. Our reality isn't shaped by what's outside of us, but by what's inside. It all starts with, well, the eyes we have. This right here, this is the core idea. And we're not talking about your actual eyeballs, of course. We're talking about your internal state, your emotions, your mindset, your whole vibe. What you are on the inside is literally what determines what you see on the outside. Think of it like this. If your heart is filled with darkness and anguish, it's like you're wearing a pair of sunglasses that filter everything out. The beauty that's always there, the sun, the flowers, just life itself, it's still there, but you can't see it. The beauty doesn't vanish. Our ability to notice it does. Now, this completely flips the script on how we look at our struggles. Suddenly, they're not dead ends anymore. Darkness isn't just, well, dark. It can be the very path that leads you into the light. Pain isn't just something to avoid. It can be the path that teaches you what pleasure truly feels like. These opposites are way more connected than we think. So, okay, if our struggles are actually paths, not dead ends, how does that change the way we make those big, scary life decisions? This leads us to a totally new way of thinking about choice itself. Can you just imagine asking a wise master for advice, agonizing over a decision, and this is what they tell you? It's kind of radical, isn't it? It just lifts all that pressure of making the right or wrong choice. All that anxiety we feel. It comes from thinking one door is good and the other is bad. The sage is basically telling us to just let all of that go. So if there are no good or bad paths, then how in the world are you supposed to decide anything? Well, the advice is really practical and it's all internal. It's not about making a spreadsheet with pros and cons. It's about getting to a place of inner calm, connecting with something deeper inside yourself, and then just letting the decision come from that place of clarity. But let's be real. Walking these paths, especially the tough ones, that takes a special kind of strength. And for that, our guide gives us this amazing symbol, the praying mantis. Following the path of the praying mantis isn't about, mimicking an insect. It's a metaphor. It's about growing this specific kind of inner power. It's about finding this deep down tenacity and a fierce kind of courage to face whatever life decides to throw at you. First, you learn to act not because fear is gone, but in spite of it. You just keep moving forward until fear itself starts to lose its grip on you. Then it's about tapping into a resilience you probably didn't even know you had, finding that inner core of strength that doesn't bend, doesn't break. And here's the payoff. When you build this inner force, this sort of mantis-like grit, you become internally invincible. Yeah, challenges will still come, but nothing can truly defeat your spirit. Because the real battle, it's always won on the inside. And all of this leads us to the final, and honestly, the most mind-blowing part of this whole journey. We've talked about perception, our paths, our inner strength. Now, let's talk about what we actually are. This is a huge shift in perspective. We usually think of ourselves as these tiny little beings living in a massive universe. But this philosophy says, hey, what if you've got it backward? What if you are the entire universe, just contained inside your own being? Once you really get that you are one with the universe, everything changes. The universe is always moving, it's dynamic. So that feeling you thought was your own personal anxiety or restlessness, maybe it's something else entirely. Maybe it's just the profound, natural energy of the cosmos moving right through you. Seriously, just let that sink in for a second. It's the ultimate statement of connection. There is no separation. You're not just a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a single drop. So if that's true, if you really are the universe, then what does that make things like failure or sadness? They become temporary.
They're just appearances on the surface. They're like clouds passing through an infinite sky. They feel real, for sure, but they are not the fundamental truth of who you are.
And just like that, we've come full circle. We started with a wish for peace, and we're ending with one. But now, hopefully, we have a much deeper idea of where that peace and light can actually be found. Not out there somewhere, but right here, inside.
So, I'm going to leave you with one final question to chew on. Knowing what you know now, that your perception creates your world, that your struggles are actually paths, and that the entire universe is inside of you, where are you going to choose to look for your peace now?